And if you're one of them people who really thinks that when you go to uni, you're going to sit in the library and just be reading the book and just... he's gonna walk over to you and just talk to you and stop, like, be so for real.
Can't focus on me. Baby, can you focus on me?
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today in this video I am going to be talking about as some of you may or may not know, if you have me on socials, if you don't, I recently finished uni. Yay! So given that, I'm gonna share some experiences and some perspectives since finishing uni as to the social aspect of uni, because I feel like people talk about this but they don't necessarily talk about this, if you know what I mean. Like, people talk about this but they don't go into too much detail and tell you how it is or how it could be. Not necessarily. Of course, everybody has different experiences with uni. My experience has been, you're gonna see, it's been a mix, but overall I really did enjoy my uni experience. Do not get me wrong, I loved uni so much. Like, overall, yeah. So if you do like this video, be sure to let me know by giving it a like, comment and share, because like I always say, sharing is caring. And of course, if you do want to see more of my face and more of my content, then be sure to subscribe to my channel. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm gonna get onto the video. I'm gonna literally just talk to you about the social aspect of university. Uni, yeah. Social life. I've realized uni can actually be a very lonely place if you don't have an active social life. Okay, so typically first year you meet people, you meet a lot of new people, make friends. Second year is supposedly the year when you actually find your peoples. That's like a thing, I feel like that's a thing. Second year is the year that you find your friendship group, because obviously first year you're just meeting people, you're introducing yourself to the actual university experience. Second year you're gonna actually properly form stronger connections with people and closer as a group. I'm not saying you can't make friends, but it's probably a bit harder to make friends in your final year. But don't be put off. You meet people in any and every space. Trust me on that. I remember a lot of the people who I made friends with, I met in first year. You're constantly meeting people throughout university. So do not fall into this trap of, oh, I don't have any friends in first year, I don't have any friends second year for as long. You can, it's just a bit more difficult, I would say. And that is me being honest, because at the start everyone's kind of got that same energy that they want to make friends, meet new people, everyone's on that vibe. Third year people just want to get out of uni. Not everybody you meet is your friend. That's the best way I can put this without it sounding any type of way. Not everybody you necessarily meet at uni is a friend. Hear me out, just give me a second. Sometimes you just genuinely do meet people and they just become acquaintances. Sometimes you genuinely do meet people and they just become people that you just say hi to them, and then that's it. Don't rule out people, but don't necessarily attach yourself as, oh my gosh, this is my friend. Like, do you know what I mean? You can't be friends with everybody. Let's just be for real, you cannot be friends with everybody. Sometimes the word acquaintance isn't necessarily a bad thing. Be careful who you call your friend at uni, especially, because sometimes, yeah. Now, in terms of like parties and social life, going out, clubbing, all of that, yeah, I feel like there's like a stigma, like a university stigma, that everybody goes out clubbing, drinking, partying. That's what uni students just do. I can't lie, that's not the case. I don't think so. I mean, obviously first year for me was more of a party era. I'm not talking about the drinking side of it, I'm talking about the literal going out kind of, yeah. That was more so like my kind of party era, if you want to say, because it was first year, and obviously, you know, the work clothing ain't that bad. Obviously everyone's different. Some people don't even go through that era, some people do, but don't feel like you literally have to in order to have a good time at uni, because there was sometimes, there's been like throughout my whole uni experience, I've done different things with people. I've gone to theme parks, I've gone to cinema, got food. Like, there's different things you can do to make friends with people. You don't necessarily have to go clubbing just because that's what the majority does. Yeah. Now, if you're a fellow shy girl, well, I'm a former shy girl, then uni can really either make or break. Not even gonna lie, I'm being completely honest throughout this whole video. Uni can either make or break if you're shy. For me, I said to myself, I know I'm a shy person, I know I don't necessarily initiate conversations with people, but I have to. So what I did in my first year, I lived on campus, I lived in student accommodation with other students as well, in like a flat in it. So it forced me to literally, from the first day, speak to people. I forced myself out of my comfort zone. That's just me, and I think I really needed to do that in order to be the person I am now and be able to actually talk to people in the way that I can now. You have to be willing to take on new challenges and push yourself out your comfort zone, I just say, because it's really going to help you in the long run. And being shy actually gets you nowhere. Let's be so for real, being shy gets you nowhere. So let's burst that bubble. Let's burst that bubble right now. Wow. Speaking of roommates and student flats and accommodation, yeah, there's so many stories I could tell about living with people at uni. People have different living standards because some people just really don't know how to live. And it sounds really weird for me to say, but there were some people, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I'm just saying, like, in general at uni, there are some people who are so used to things being done for them. Now that they have to do things for themselves, they don't know what to do. And obviously everyone's on their own learning experience, their own journey, but you have to respect the space. So if you're one of them people who's quite messy, like, come correct for uni. It's only gonna create problems if you're not upkeeping the space that other people are sharing, and it's kind of disrespectful, I know. If you're constantly just messing up the place, creating disruption for other people, you have to be considerate to other people, and some people don't understand that. But yeah, I don't know, some people were raised differently and have different things that they do and don't do. But yeah, as long as you just clean up and look after the space and you're not causing any problems, you'll be fine. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but when I first started uni, I had a very La La Land approach. And when I say La La Land approach, I mean, I was just like, I thought everything was gonna be cute. Obviously things don't obviously work out how I think. And if you're one of them people who really thinks that when you go to uni, you're going to sit in the library and just be reading a book and just see this guy and just be like, oh, and he's gonna walk over to you and just talk to you and just, what's your name? Oh, can I get your number? If you really think that's gonna happen, stop. Like, be so for real, because no. Just stop before you hurt yourself and you get upset. In terms of relationships and stuff, uni is not how people necessarily think that it is. One thing I will say, people like to know your business, so be mindful, like I said from the start, be mindful of who you make friends with, be mindful of who you have in your circle, because it's, you know, your best interest might not always be at heart. Be careful of who you go out with or whatever, because people gonna know. People talk. People do talk. Things get around quick, rumors spread, things spread, if they're good or not. People get to know stuff. So, and I found this so weird, everybody really seems to know everybody. Maybe it was just my uni, but I don't know, everybody literally, it felt like everybody was connected and knew each other. I don't know, but like I'll meet someone and it's like I'm just like, in general, I'll be out somewhere and meet someone, and then before I know it, they know someone else that I know, and I'm just like, oh, you don't know each other, do you know what I mean? So that's why I always say be careful, be mindful of what you say, who you interact with, what you do, because somebody's gonna know. And some people like to talk. Somebody wants to know, people want to know, people want to talk. Going back to the relationship, get your degree and just go. I'll be so for real. People can be very unserious, and if you really think, I mean, sometimes it works out for some people. So I can't even be a hater. I can't actually be a hater, because some people it might work, but the majority of the time, no. You cannot be all delulu and la la land and that. Oh, yeah, we're gonna get married. Yeah, I met him in the library. Yeah, I met him in the club. Yeah, we gonna get married. Yeah. You can't do that to yourself. I'm just telling you, it's not always, it's not the case. So yeah, just be careful. Focus on your education. Focus on the actual reason you're there, to get your degree, and then bounce. Honestly, I just think at uni you can genuinely meet some of the nicest people ever, because I can say with confidence I have met some of the nicest people ever at uni. But on the other hand, I've also met some of the most baffling human beings I've ever met in my life. I feel like everything at uni has taught me a lot of different things about life in general, and I'm sure it will be the same experience if you're someone who's looking to start uni. Maybe you're already in uni and you need like a kind of reflective kind of, you need to restart, you feel like you need to restart your year or something because you had such a bad year, or you want to carry on the high of the good year that you've already had. Maybe it's that sort of experience. But what I'm genuinely saying is you can meet different people from different places. You can meet people anywhere. I've met people in the toilet, like not even to sound weird, but I've met people like in the toilets. I just start a conversation sometimes. Or I've met people at fairs, I've met people in the club, I've met people in seminars, I've met people in lectures, I've met people in like passing my student accommodation, I've met people at a house party, I've met people in so many different places. So you do meet people in a range of spaces, but not everybody good. Yeah, there's some really nice people I met and they know who they are. They know who they are. Do I recommend uni? In terms of the education aspect, I would say it really does depend on your course and what you want to do. But what I will say is, if you feel like if you're doing a course like medicine, let's say, or law, and you really do need to be at uni, go. If there's other routes of being at uni, like a degree apprenticeship, I would recommend doing a degree apprenticeship. I wish I did a degree apprenticeship, but at the time when I was applying for uni, there weren't as many degree apprenticeships around like how they are now. So unfortunately that wasn't really a thing that I could do. But yeah, look at different options. And then in terms of the social life, I feel like it's overhyped a bit, can't I? First year was yay, fun. I felt like I was at uni, energy, hype. Second year, no. So I don't know, like there's pros and cons of going to uni. Obviously, like I've said, you meet new people, you meet good people, you meet bad people. You get a really experience of life, like firsthand, about like before you actually start like life, if you get what I mean. So yeah, if you're looking for some sort of character development experience, I'd say go. For sure, but I can't tell people to go to uni or not to go to uni. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying, yeah, be ready to experience new things and be open-minded. Yeah, I'd recommend joining societies genuinely, especially if you're a shy person and you don't like to go out of your way to meet people. If you go to the events, then you kind of have the event to talk to people anyway. So yeah, I'd recommend that if you're a shy person. Get to know people. Guys, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I feel like I've touched on everything in terms of the social aspect of uni. Yeah, because uni really was an experience. It is an experience. I've finished uni now, but it was an experience. It was a good experience for me overall. Do not get me wrong, it was a good experience for me overall. There were just a lot of hiccups on the way. Obviously, for real, there were a lot of hiccups on the way, but it's just about how you navigate through them, and having people around you always does help. because uni can be quite a lonely place. I'm being so for real. So yeah, don't be too put off if you are someone who feels lonely. There's always people you can speak to, even if you don't think it. So yeah, if you did like this video, be sure to let me know by giving it a like, comment and share, because like I always say, and I said earlier, sharing is caring, and the interactions help my channel in it. So if you really want to see me grow and see me win, go ahead and do that. And lastly, if you do want to see more of my face and more of my content, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Obviously put the notification bell on so you can actually hear and see on your phone when I do upload a video. I try and upload every week. I didn't upload last week because I had a lot of other things going on. So yeah, I shall see you next week for another video. I'm not quite sure what type of video it's going to be, what video it is going to be, but yeah, I shall see you there, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. Adios.